What's up, everybody? This is Taylor Vippolis, and welcome to the Players Lounge, a podcast brought to you by Inside Carolina in partnership with Heels for Life, UNC Football's NIL collective, created to bring together UNC football players, fans, and businesses. I'm hosting this with my former teammate, Shakeel Rashad, and today we're joined by the star of the Carolina football team, wide receiver Josh Downs. Josh, appreciate you getting on here with us. Your uncle is cornerbacks coach Dre Bly, who in his day, he was a two-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champ in his own right. 10 reps, one-on-one. Who's winning that battle?
I get asked this question a lot. But honestly, I got to give myself at least. I respect my uncle, so I'll give him like three. But yeah, I think I'm gonna set it on. But that's because I respect him, so I'm gonna give him three. That's all I'm gonna give him though.
How many would you give him if he wasn't your uncle?
I might maybe less, probably two, maybe less. I got to give him one more just because he's young.
You've seen him play. Do you have a route that you think you would go to more often than not against him? Or do you have a favorite route of yours?
I don't know. Honestly, I feel like I can route him up on a whip route. I definitely think I could route him up on a whip route, something in that nature. Or, shoot, see what he's talking about up top.
Okay. That's awesome. And speaking of like going up top, I'm thinking about like basketball or anything like that. Like if you had to play another sport at Carolina, what would it be and how good are you at that sport?
All right. I would honestly do track and I would be a triple jumper and a long jumper. In high school, I was pretty solid at both, placed in the state for them. So, and I was a sophomore after I stopped doing track. So, I think I was definitely a pretty good triple jumper. I was like 46.10, around 47 as a sophomore, and then about 22, 22.8, 22.9 for long jump when I was a sophomore. So I was pretty good at those.
You made the switch to football full-time at some point in your high school career. When was the first time that you remember thinking that you were like that in football and that the NFL was a realistic possibility for you?
I wouldn't say that was probably two separate times. Like the first time I was like, dang, maybe I am like that is in high school I definitely thought I was good. And then I went to the All-American Bowl and I was like, okay, I might, and then I was like, I was doing well at the event. So I was like, okay, I might be making some shake here. And then freshman year at the Orange Bowl game, when I caught a few of those passes, then I was like, okay, I can do this on this level too. I was like, now we might be cooking more. So it was like two separate occasions, but those two really stick out to me.
That's cool. And one of my favorite questions to ask people, especially after seeing them play for a couple of years and kind of their game, like when you were growing up, was there any receivers that you watched a lot and you one were a fan of, and two, was there anyone you were modeling your game after, or even picking pieces from different people?
I definitely say I was watching Odell and Jarvis Landry a lot when they played at LSU. That was a real deal, dynamic duo that I love watching. And then nowadays, I look at guys like, when KJ Hamler was in college, I watched him a lot. Jalen Waddle as well. But I say now in the league, I like Devontae, Devontae Adams, Keenan Allen. I like guys like that. Everybody gonna watch Tyreek Hill, but just a mix of different guys, see what moves they use, and pretty much pick up that. I'm always watch Odell too. So.
And one more question I was curious about. I feel like I've seen some tweets and stuff back and forth every now and then, maybe like comments on it, like something somewhere. Like, you ever watch Switz play? Like, obviously, like it's an easy line to draw, like similar position, both playing in the slot, both at Chapel Hill. But like, do you ever watch him play and like, let me take some stuff from this guy's game? Because let me tell you, there's a lot of film I'm glad never got out of me trying to cover Switz in practice. And I look at you and I say the same thing. Like, thank God I never had to see this guy in practice.
Yeah, definitely. When I was growing up, Switz was definitely a guy that I was very he was real nice. Watching Carolina play, you knew Ryan Switz was playing, so that was the first name that came to mind. So him just being here sometimes in the off season as well helped me a lot. I watched lots of tape with him, went on the field with him, worked. So just having him in my corner as well is just a big thing also. And he's a pro himself, so he can tell me what he's already done, what he's been through, and what he knows. So it's good having him as a big brother and good knowledge.
When we watch you on Saturdays, people see this like ultra confident receiver when you step on the field, but to make you more human and more relatable, What's one thing you're not good at? Like Shaq isn't good at cooking. I'm not good
Oh,
at singing. Make yourself a little more relatable right now.
let's see. Yeah, I'm probably not the best dancer, and I'm not ever. So I definitely might say that. That's one thing I'm not that good at. So
Are we
What are
keep
the odds we get a gritty in the end zone?
nah, I can definitely hit the gritty now, but nah, I ain't no real dancer though. But I can do the gritty. That's something
Okay.
I'll probably do something that good.
as a reward for this podcast, the next touchdown you score, can we get the gritty?
Yeah,
Just a
I'll
little
do
gritty.
this.
Just...
I gotta remember, but I'll do it though. I'm with it. I'll do it. I'll do
So
it.
now the fans listening to this podcast are looking forward. They're always looking forward to the next touchdown you score, but now
Yeah,
they have the bonus feature of if you remember to hit the gritty, it's because
I
of this
know.
podcast.
So yeah,
That's great.
facts. So I'm gonna stick to it. I'm gonna stick to it.
That's great, man. Taking it back a little bit, before you were scoring touchdowns in Chapel Hill, 4-star recruit, top 100 player in the class. You're an All-American. Why'd you end up in Chapel Hill, or how'd you end up in Chapel Hill? Like, what was it about UNC that made you say, like, that's a spot for me, that's home, let's go do something special?
I'd honestly say when Mac Brown got hired, and then when Dre Bly got hired, it was like a two-way thing. Like they definitely opened the door for me to go to Chapel Hill, and it just opened my eyes. I mean, I went on a visit, and my uncle just kept telling me, just give us one visit, give us one visit. So I'm like, I'm gonna do it. So I went there, went to a basketball game, talked to all the coaches. I loved it, and I went back in the same week. So I went 2 times in the same week, and it was just like I just had a feeling. I had a feeling like I never went to another school before, and I was like, yeah, this is definitely home. And then I knew Sam Howell was there, and he was a great quarterback, and I get to play a few years with him. So I was definitely excited about that as well. So a mix of those three things, and I just felt like God was telling me that was my home. So stuck to it, committed early, and then stayed with it.
Yeah, you committed early, like you just mentioned. You never wavered. What was Mac Brown and Phil Longo's reaction when you told them you were committing? Because I have to imagine having you be like the prize of that class was something that really, brought them so much joy.
No, it was definitely just excitement all around when I committed. I mean, I felt like I had finally found a family, and then I mean they were really high on me. A lot of other teams may have been like worried about my size and stuff, but they were always with me through thick and thin. Coach Galloway was always telling me, "You're my guy. I need you like out of all the slots. Like I need you the most out of all the receivers." So he was telling me that over and over again, and I mean he stood by that. So having Carolina was just it was a different feel. And I mean, it's still like that to this day. They stuck by their word, and they're a real coaching staff.
That's cool, man. And I don't want to make it seem like the recruiting process was all sunshine and rainbows here. Dad played at NC State. I imagine there was a little bit of friction there. What was that like? How did the staff, how did everyone win him over and make him realize that there was there was some sunshine down the road and a nice shade of blue waiting on you?
Yeah, so that's funny because when I was a kid, my dad and Uncle Dre always used to argue about NC State and Carolina. So I was always on the NC State side. So I always was an NC State fan because my dad played for them and stuff like that. So when I got older and it came down to those two, like it really did come down to those two in my recruitment. So it was just I just felt like I had a better opportunity at Carolina, and it was a better fit for me. My dad was a little sad at first.
Yeah.
He never told me this. My mom told me, but like she was like, "Yeah, your dad was definitely a little sad at first." But then he realized like there wasn't a better option for me. So then he eventually was just like, he's happy for me, and now I mean he gonna cheer for Carolina nowadays because he got to. So
That's cool.
I mean I think we won him over by now.
Yeah.
Is he wearing Carolina blue on game days?
I can't even say I can't say he does. He one time I think I accidentally said that and he was like, you can't be telling people I wear Carolina blue. He was like, I only got like 1 or 2 shirts. Like he's like, not a lot, but yeah.
Yeah, a little time out here. I saw you just slid the cup over. Was that a Nick Saban like NIL deal type thing? You need to plug something?
I was about to take a sip, and I was like, wait, I can't. I was like, I'm on the interview. I can't.
When we look at your offer list from your recruitment, you have schools Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State. How important was it for you when you choose Carolina to kind of create your own path and be a part of turning a program around like you've done going to an Orange Bowl and like what you guys are doing this season?
I feel like it was just more of I'm not just I wasn't just looking at the name of a school. I was really looking at the opportunity and what the future may hold. So just taking a different path than a lot of the other top recruits. Just a few of us did here. So it was just like, let's make something special. And I mean, we can be the guys to do it, because we were a few of us were highly ranked, like Miles Murphy, Dez, a few guys like that. I mean, Sam, he's in that too. So just guys like that believing that we can make a change here. So, and I mean, I feel like we're doing that right now. And it was just not following the crowd for me. I was like, I mean, some of these schools just weren't a fit for me. So it's like, I got to go where I'm feel like I'm needed and wanted the most.
What was the adjustment from high school to college like for you?
It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't too hard, I'd say. I felt like the speed of the game sped up a little bit. Some people were stronger, and a little definitely smarter. So those three things were the main thing. And but I feel like I adjusted pretty well to it. And I felt like from the jump I was working hard. And I mean, I got blessed and just was able to get on the field my freshman year and show glimpses of what I could do. So I feel like I adjusted well.
For the most part, whether it's on the field or in the weight room, everybody has like a welcome to college type moment where you start to realize things are different and you can't get away with some of the things you were able to get away with in high school. Do you have one that kind of sticks out to you your freshman year when you first got on campus?
Oh, yeah. I got hit by Kyle Hamilton when we played Notre Dame, and I got my lights. I got shook, and I was like, whoa. I was like, I ain't never felt nothing like that before. And it was just like, I was like, dang, but I probably, like, knock on wood, I'll probably never take a hit harder than that again. But that was just like, I was like, whoa. And that was probably like my second time getting tackled in college. So I'm like, yo, it's different. But yeah, that was definitely a welcome to college football moment.
And could you talk a little more, like if you have any other stories about like those welcome to college football hits for like the young guys now? Because one of the things that I don't think people appreciate enough is that with the COVID years and everything else, like you're getting 60 years, 50 years, 60-year seniors and everything. I remember the first time I got hit by a 23-year-old when I was 17. I can't imagine being 17, 18 years old and some 26-year-old dude with a family and like a timeshare in South Florida hits me and like, whoa, like this is a real grown man that I'm playing.
Yeah. Nah, it's definitely different. I mean, there is a bunch of teams with a bunch of 6-year seniors, a bunch of old cats, but I mean, I feel like it makes it harder to adjust now because you're going against definitely an older group of guys. Like usually it's 4-year seniors, something like that. But now you playing against like 6-year dudes, like 23, 22 years old, real old. So I feel like it is harder to adjust with that, but I feel like you just got to get it done. It may take a little longer, but you'll get it done.
Yeah, absolutely. And then speaking about that like adjustment period, you talked a little about your freshman year, but like what was that time period like where you come in and you may not be starting immediately, may not be playing as much as you wanted immediately, but you know you can contribute? Like what did it look like to keep your head down, grind? Like what were you telling yourself to make sure you kind of kept the main thing?
Yeah, it was just like every day. I mean, I talked to Coach Galloway a few times that year because I mean, I definitely was a little discouraged at times because I wasn't playing, but he was just telling me just keep working at practice. He's like, because when Daz leaves, it's yours. So he's like, you just got to show up every day at practice, be ready to play when it's your time to go in, and then when your opportunity comes, take advantage of it. And I played like here and there sometimes, like just like 2-3 plays a game, nothing crazy, but I mean, just still getting a glimpse of what it may be. So, and then last game of the season, a few of them opted out, and I got an opportunity to play, and God was great that game, and I made a few plays. So, then I felt like it just, I felt like I was okay. I'm here now. That's what I felt like. I'm here now. So, I feel like
What was the build up to that Orange Bowl game like, and were you at all surprised with what you did out there? 2 touchdowns, 91 yards, kind of that welcome to college football moment for you?
Yeah, it was so like during the week, Javante, like Mike and Diami opted out, and then Javante opted out late. So it was just like coach was like, "Whoa, like we missing all our weapons now." So Coach Longo came up. Like then next day I went to practice. There was a new package in, and I was the new package. So we was running this package a lot in practice. And Coach Longo came up to me one day. He's like, he's like, you're you're definitely in the game plan this week. Like you're a big part of the game plan. So he's like, I need you to come up big. And it's just like I went from being like not barely playing at all to like you got to make plays this game. So it's like, and I told my mom and dad, and I was like, I really think I'm about to play a lot. So it was like, just be ready. And then it was a little like I was a little nervous that week. I ain't gonna lie, because I was like, first game, like I'm gonna be a big role in Texas A&M, number 5 in the country. I was like, all right, I'm like, it's gonna make or break me. I'm like, pressure either makes you fold or it makes a diamond. So I was like, I just got to go out there and do what I can do. And I went out there and made some plays. So,
you know, I'm in a tough spot with the media because I have to be objective. But Carolina is also the program I played for. I love Carolina. At the Orange Bowl, there's a strict no cheering in the press box rule.
mm-hmm.
And when you're running deep, I'm like mumbling under my breath. He's open, throw it.
Yeah. I feel you, bro. I feel you, man.
Oh, that's funny. I mean, and going back to that game and just staying on it here, like you said, you were patient before. You hadn't been a big part of any game plans, and you said you're a little bit like nervous leading up to it. That's good nerves, right? You're supposed to have it. But like, at what point in the game did the nerves turn into, or maybe after game, like, did it turn into, oh yeah, like I'm here, I can do this, and not only can I compete on this level, like I'm better than these guys.
Yeah. I feel like during the game, I mean, I started getting in the rhythm, and I was like, I felt like I was in high school again. Like I was like, yeah, like coach, if you give me this route, I'm gonna make a play. Like, just trust me. And I was getting back into that mode. And then like the long touchdown I told Coach Longo, I was like, hey, motion me out the backfield, and I'm gonna run a 2 fade. And I was like, it's gonna be wide open. And he trusted me, and he called it. It ended up being like they ended up running like a bracket double team. So I ran like a post, but I got flipped around by Sam. I still remember that jump like it was yesterday. But then he was like, okay, like I felt like Coach Longo trusted me in that point. He was like, okay, I can definitely trust him a little bit. So I feel like then, I mean, next year when we play VT, I had a pretty solid game. So I was like, yeah, I feel like I can just keep stacking, just keep getting better each and every week. That's all I focused on. And I mean, I feel like I've been doing that since I was a kid, and it's just helped me to this day.
And has that trust continued to grow? Because like I'm not a lip reader. There's a whole lot of things I'm not, but I know when I'm watching the Duke game and you make a catch and you look at the sideline and I can see your helmet move, I'm like, he wants the ball again. He wants the ball again. I know what he's saying right now. I know what he's saying. But has that trust continued to build, and like, what do those conversations look like now with y'all?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely has. I've been with Coach Longo for like 3 years now, but it's just mainly just he just asked me what plays I like in the book. I'm just communicating with what I think can work, and then what he thinks can work, and then we just as an offense too, like everybody does it, and we just come together and we make a game plan. But I feel like, yeah, me and Coach Longo, we trust each other a lot, and I mean, I couldn't ask for a better OC. I mean, he's called great games. He's definitely put me in a great position to make plays a lot of the time. So I mean, can't complain about him. And Coach Galloway's in that too. I mean, I trust him like no other. He trusts me, so it's like family.
That's so 20, cool.
Yeah, that is really cool to see that you do have the power to kind of suggest plays and suggest routes, and that the coaches at the same time trust you with what you're saying and what you're seeing out there. In 2021, you set program records with 101 catches, 1,335 receiving yards. It's over 100 yards more than the next closest guy, being Hakeem Nicks. What does that mean to you to kind of cement yourself at the top of the record books at a school with the history of receivers that UNC has had? Hakeem Nicks, you know, we mentioned Switzer, Quinshaw Davis, Mac Hollins, Ebron. Like, there's never been a receiver that has had the season that you had.
Nah, it's really a blessing, as I said. Like, I didn't really realize like the maybe the season I had last year, because I mean, of course, like in the moment you're gonna be like, I could have done this better, and it's just like my uncle would just come up to me sometimes and be like, bro, like you had 100 catches, bro, like that's not normal, and like I'll just have to like just, and like Galloway would say that to me too, and I'll just be like, yeah, like okay, maybe that is true, and it's just like Hakeem Nicks was a great pro. I mean, so it's just like, dang, I'm like I could be up there with him, like man, I'm like that's crazy. So it just hit me more at the end of the season, and I was just like, dang, like maybe it's a possibility I can be really good at this game. So I was just like, let me stick to it.
Yeah. 8 or more catches in 11 of the 13 games, and you had a streak of scoring a touchdown in 8 straight games. I
Yeah.
know people who would kill for half that production.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
And with all that production, like it's got to be fun to go back and watch games. But let's say, you know, however many months from now, you get a call and an agent or someone is like, you know, I got a scout. He wants to watch a game. He's going to watch one game all the way through. Which one we point him to? What are you saying? Like, what's the game where you're like, that's the best I've ever played so far? Because your best days are ahead of you.
Yeah, I'd definitely say Virginia last year. I'd say you can flip on that tape, watch a little bit, and I mean, I could maybe say Duke last weekend. I was like, turn on that. I made some big plays that game. So I'd say those 2 games, like flip those on. You're gonna see some good stuff.
Yeah, you mentioned the Virginia game last year, 8 catches, 203 yards. After that, you had to know that, you know, your life was going to change, and with how defenses were adjusting to you, you know, the double teams are going to come, the bracket coverage is going to come. Do you ever get frustrated when you do take up so much of that attention?
No, I don't really get frustrated as much. Because I know at like Galloway tells me all the time, like you gonna take 3 people, like you gonna get a few people's eyes every time you go in motion or every time you run across the field. So sometimes I just got to do it. So it's like, I mean, yeah, I agree. So I'll do it, and I mean, it'll help my teammates make plays, and I mean, like getting Antoine Green one-on-one coverage is like, okay, we're stealing at this point. So helping him out, I mean, he helps me out too, and then JJ Jones can make plays as well. So I feel like just those guys being outside of me too, like they're gonna make plays also. So I feel like they might start in the double team, but then they're gonna be like, all right, well, we got this dude over here that's making some shakes, so we got to get out of this, and then it opens up stuff for me as well. So we all work together as a group to get each other better.
And when did that conversation happen? Like, at what point did you go from I'm a really productive player to like I'm gonna start getting doubles, and then from there, like, how does that conversation happen? You're like, I need to start playing outside some. I got to start going in motion some. I got to start getting in the backfield, maybe some of that orbit motion. I got to do stuff to make this defense not be able to know where I'm at and be able to set 2 over there and everything. What was that process like? And like, how do you prepare for it? Because now you're not just learning one position. Like, you got to go to the X sometimes. You got to go to in the slot sometimes. You're doing all this different stuff. What was that conversation like? And then how do you prepare for it?
It was just, I mean, well, everybody was like, yeah, Coach Galloway came to me like early last season. He was like, probably before the season started, fall camp. He's like, if you do what I think you'll do, you'll start getting double teamed like probably like game 3 or 4. So like, he was like, sometimes like you're gonna be getting double teamed, so you may have to like not be the look. And I was just like, okay, but then it was just based off like, all right, how we gonna get you out of this bracket? How we gonna get you out of this double team? And that's where Coach Longo comes in and just helps me, and Coach Galloway too, and all the coaches on the staff. So I mean, I wouldn't say it was a set date or anything. It was just like, all right, like we're seeing it on tape now, so like let's do something about it. And then after last season, I feel like I just needed to kind of just like show I could do more. So I was like, I played outside in high school a lot. So I was like, I mean, I can still play outside in college. I was like, I just gotta just let me do it. Let me go out there and play. And they trusted me. And they're like, okay, you can go out there and play. So just being able to play outside, it's a privilege too, because then like Kobe Paysar comes in and makes big plays. So we got a lot of guys that can do stuff. And I mean, just moving around different spots just gets everybody different opportunities.
Let me just say, as a defensive guy, I hate that. You know, if we're going into a day with a game plan, we're going in with a game plan. I know where you're supposed to be standing. You know, I just want you to stand there. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Just stand there so we can double team you. But no,
Yeah.
as a UNC guy, I'm happy that you're doing that to get open.
Yeah, I appreciate you. That's funny.
The reason the double teams have come your way is you have a 93.6 pro football focus grade when single covered. I saw that stat on Twitter today. Leads all Power 5 wide receivers. Can you put us in your shoes? Because I played wide receiver. I never had it look as easy as you do. What's it like when you get in that rhythm of getting open?
I feel like I was just always just like kind of just blessed with a knack for getting open. Like I feel like I just like always just I just don't like being near people when the ball could be in the air. So I say when it's one-on-one coverage, it's just like, all right, it's me versus you. So at the end of the day, whoever wins this rep is better. That's how I look at it. And it's like I'm not gonna lose. I don't like losing. It sticks with me. So I definitely don't like losing. So just going up there and then using different arsenal moves I worked on. and just seeing which one will work, which one may not work, and then looking at leverage. It's a whole lot of stuff you got to look at as a receiver. It's hard to explain. I mean, you played it, so you know how it goes. But just like a lot of film work too. Just being in the tape room, seeing what you're getting before the game, and then when you go out there seeing it, it definitely helps you because you're like, okay, I already thought I was gonna do this move this week, and now here's the opportunity to do it. So you already have it in the back of your head, stuff like that. So just a lot of things put together.
Yeah, and it's my job to talk about this team, and even I struggle at times to verbalize just how good you are at receiver. And it's just like I just default to just saying league him. That's just kind of my default. But how would you put into words what makes you such a great receiver?
I feel like first off, I feel like I got some of the best hands in the country. Like I feel like I've showed that. And then I mean, I feel like my route running is very good. And I feel like my quickness and short area change of pace is elite. And I've worked on that a lot with my dad, my trainers. So got to give credit to them there. So I feel like just a couple things, like those things put together. And then I think I'm an intelligent football player. I'm a coach's son. So my whole life it's been like I've been learning about this game. So I don't feel like it's anything new to me and a lot of stuff. I mean, of course, there's always stuff to learn in football, but I feel like I can pick up on it fast and understand it well. So I feel like all those things put together, and then I feel like I can play a lot of places. Like some people may not be able to play in the slot. Some people may be able to play outside. Some people might not be able to make plays at the backfield, but I feel like I can do pretty much all of those. So it's just wherever you line me up, give me a route, I'm gonna do it.
That's awesome. And hearing all that gets me excited, man, because it's a dream like you have your entire life. Like every kid out there on that field, every guy out there like had that dream their entire life. And at this point, like you're starting to see your name mentioned early, right? With the guys that are in college football and what's available. People start to look ahead to next year and everything. Not trying to ask you like going, coming, like none of that. But the question is like, how does it feel to have your name start to be mentioned in the conversation that the first time you picked up a football, you're like, I want to be a part of that. And all of a sudden your name's towards the top of that list. Like, what is that feeling? Because a lot of people live their entire life without getting anywhere near the dream they had. And it's like, you're starting to sniff it a little bit. Like, what does that feel like?
Nah, it's honest. Like just you saying that gives me chills. Like it's incredible. It's a miracle and a blessing, man. I mean, I just think about it all the time. Like sometimes I'll just have to really sit back and look like what would the little kid version of you think? And I'm like, if I was like, man, I think I'm a superhero or something like that. So it's like you just got to look at like what you wanted in the past and see where you are now. And I feel like I'm definitely going in that direction. And I mean, hopefully I can keep going in that direction. So feel like it's like shocking at a time when you really sit back and look at it. It's like, okay, like you truly are blessed. You truly have a lot to be thankful for. And it's just like I can't complain. I mean, I just got to go in every day and work, and things go my way. Thank you. Things don't go my way. Still, thank you. So it is what it is. It's just a blessing to be here.
Yeah, and you're one of the many guys on this UNC team is really fun to watch because you can tell you love football. And like people that love football, you can see it when they're playing football. Like I mentioned earlier, you see your head moving a little bit and like talking and stuff. You get a little chippy out there. You talking trash. Like I don't need to know the exact quotes. We'll leave that out. But like, what kind of player are you out there on the field? You talking to your guys, their guys, both?
It's just I'm really not even like usually it starts with the other team saying something to me. So a lot of times they'll just say something slick, and I'm like, all right, like it'll just be like, okay, I didn't start this. They started talking, so then it'll just be a little back and forth sometimes, back and forth dialogue. But definitely talking to my guys more than them. Trying to just communicate on plays and stuff and see what we did right that play, wrong that play, figure stuff out. But I mean, I feel like in those big moments, it's just like, all right, it's me versus you. And then whoever makes that play, I feel like you got a right to just be like, yeah, made that. Like I'm one up on you. I'm one up. So it's like, then it's like, okay, we like you. It's a competition inside of a competition. So I like competing, and I feel like when I'm out there, it's just like that's the ultimate competition right there. You versus another man all game. So
yeah, that mentality reminds me of Mac Hollins. Like I remember being on the sideline one time and Mac telling it was like 3rd and 6. And Mac told the corner what route he was running. He goes, I'm running this route and the ball's coming here. and he ran like a 9-step comeback that he just told him and caught it. Throws the ball at him. He's like, I told you. Like, I'm up 1. All right, let's go again. Like, that's got to be the most demoralizing thing in the world. I can't imagine as a defender, right? Because I'm like, all right, he told me his route and he did it. When he tells me the next one, do I believe him? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, what am I doing there?
Nah, for sure. I know how that go. That's funny. Yeah.
Speaking of the mic'd up, one time I had Mac mic'd up for a spring game, and I would say I have like headphones in. I'm holding the camera. I'm listening to him the entire time. I would say I used maybe 5% of the audio. He was just talking bad to everybody. I was like, I can't use any of this on a school provided video. I was like, I don't know what he thinks I'm going to be able to do with this, but I can't use any of it. What do you side question? Drake May, he hardly ever overthrows you, but how do you feel when he does overthrow you and then the DB is celebrating and the DB really doesn't even do much? That's probably my biggest pet peeve in college football.
I'm not even mad at Drake. I'm mad at the DB because I'm like, bro, you know you was beat. Like we don't even need to have this conversation right now. Like, you know you was beat, so we just gonna leave it at that. And then, I mean, yeah, just go from there.
Speaking of Drake, you go from Sam Howell to Drake May, and I remember in the offseason, Carolina fans were pretty unsure what they had at the quarterback position, but you were never worried about that transition. What did you see in Drake at the time that gave you the confidence in him?
I knew Drake was a competitor at the end of the day, similar to Sam. So I was like, and then my cousin played with him in high school, and he told me he was like that. And so I was like, yeah, I know he's good. And my own people say he's good. And then I threw with him a few times before he got here, and then when he got here, and I was like, yeah, he definitely is that. So I was happy to be able to play with him, and I mean, see him grow like this is just. I mean, it's what I expected. I mean, he's 6-1, and I expect to win every game with him. So just having him in my corner is crazy, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, and you said you hear from your cousin, you go out and you throw with him, you're watching him, you're seeing him when he gets to campus and everything, and you knew he was a good player, a competitor. But did you know that he was top 6 in QBR, number 1 in touchdowns, and starting to get Heisman buzz? Like, did you know he was going to be that good?
I mean, I can't say no. I mean, it's just like, okay. I knew Drake was gonna be one of the best in college football. Like 100%, I knew this. Yeah. So it's like to see him do this. It's like we knew Draco was like that. We call him Draco. It was like we knew he was like that, and he's just showing people now.
Such a cool nickname. Yeah, Shaq doesn't really lend itself to a cool nickname like that. Shaq.
Nah, Shaq is nice though. Shaq hard.
Do you like the Drake and Josh references?
Hey, Drake and Josh are great shows. So I feel like great show, great duo. So, man, similar.
And another player you had mentioned earlier, another teammate of yours, what has it been like for you to see Antoine Green emerge as a big-time receiver opposite of you, knowing, what he's been through with injuries and everything that he's kind of had to deal with?
I mean, it's incredible. I mean, Antoine, he's so strong in his faith. Like, even when he got hurt, he was always there mentally and always just happy to be there. And I know he put in the work to get back, and seeing him really just ball out is great because everybody knows he had it in him. It was just a matter of time. So he's showing it this year that he's one of the best in the country. And I couldn't ask for anybody better to play with next to me and on the other side of me. Sometimes I always know he'll get open. And we always chop it up about different plays. Like, you route him up on this, you route him up on that. And I know AG is like that. So. He's like a brother to me.
Yeah, and all that, everything, offense, defense, everything has brought you to a point that now you guys are 6-1, undefeated in the ACC, 4-0 on the road. What's been the difference this year versus other years?
I'd say we finished games. We finished that Duke game, the Miami game, and the App State game, even Georgia State too. It's just like we finished games that we needed to finish in those crunch times, like a lot of the times in the past. Those close games went the other way, and it's just like, dang, just as easily as we were like 3-3, we 6-1 now because we finished those games. So it's like that trend. It's going to continue by the work we put in. So we need to keep finishing games like that.
Against Duke, that 1 minute offense was electric before the first half ends. At the end of the game, I was more worried at the end of the game about you guys leaving too much time on the scoreboard rather than you guys just scoring in general, which kind of just speaks to the overall confidence that I think the media and the fan base has in your offense, what's the least amount of time you guys can have on the clock to be confident that you can go down and score?
I mean, I think like we had like what 20 seconds versus B team. We got a field goal. I ain't gonna cap. I was like I'm thinking he's just gonna Coach Longo was just gonna call a knee. I'm like, it ain't no way we going out here running some plays, and we did, and we got a field goal. I was like, okay. I'm like, dang. I'm like, that shocked me. I'm like, we did just do that. So I mean, I can't even have a set time now. It's like we can make plays anywhere because it's a lot of weapons, and then you got a great general back there, quarterback.
I love stuff like that. Like as a player, I used to get so excited when they call calls that I'm like, I remember being in games and being like, hearing a call coming and being like, the fans are gonna be pissed about it. And I love this. Like I love that coach just called this because it tells me he believes in me. Like
Yeah.
going up there and coach not taking a knee there, like as a player, at least personally, I'd be like, this guy believes in us. Like he thinks we can go down.
Yeah.
And for me on defense, it was like game on the line, like we're going blitz zero. Let's roll. And I'm like, this guy believes in us. He believes in our DBs. He thinks we're gonna get home quick and get this thing off. So I love it. I sit at home and I'm like, let's go. Like put more
Yeah.
trust in you guys. I have faith in them too.
Yeah, for sure. I know how I go. That's exactly how it is.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to the 2015 team. I see a lot of comparisons to that team or a lot of similarities between that 2015 UNC team and this one, where it was like that Duke game, Shaq, that we played in. I think there was like 19 seconds left before the half, and Coach Luttrell sends the offense out there, and we're like, just throw it up to Bug. Bug is going to be there somewhere, and we scored in like 18 seconds. But yeah, it's also pretty similar to like when you watch the NFL and it's like you can't leave any time on the clock for guys like Josh Allen or guys like Patrick Mahomes, because if 16 seconds, too much time. They're going to go down and they're going to score. So I do see a lot of similarities in your guys' offense when you have a top 5 wide receiver in yourself and you have a top 5 quarterback in Drake May. And like you mentioned, I think Antoine Green is probably one of the most underrated players, not just at receiver, but just in this country for what he can do at the position.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And so kind of landing the plane here, we'll let you go. But one of the things we were kind of talking about, me and Vip, before this, like you're here in partnership with Heels for Life. You got joshdownshop.com, deals with Noble, Cherry Bundy, NFT. Like, how has your life and your college experience changed since July 1 of last year when NIL became real?
I feel like it's just opened up more opportunities with a lot of brands and just to grow my own image. So I feel like just working with Noble is in itself just like a crazy offer, crazy blessing. I mean, I love working with them. They send me so much gear. Like I could probably wear Noble for the rest of the year, and it's just like I'm thankful for that. And I mean, just those other partnerships, it's just allowed me to have more room, like financially, and just pay, like just buy meals easier, just have food whenever I need it, and not have to like, I don't feel like eating at the cafeteria today because it's not good. But I was like, all right, I mean, it's straight. I'll just go get some food this time. So I feel like NIL's been good to a lot of people, and I mean, I hope it keeps growing because I mean, it's a lot of opportunities out there for everyone.
Yeah. Do you need to slide your Chick-fil-A cup back over? Please take a minute if you need to do that.
Advertising right here.
Anybody you want to plug right now?
Eat more chicken.
No lie.
But if they're not paying for that, we will beep that out. We will beep that.
Like literally. Got to.
That's great, man. Josh, appreciate your time, man. Everyone listening, like I mentioned, this is through Heels for Life. So please go check out the website. Check out joshdownshop.com. There's also some other guys up there. Check out what they're doing. NIL really is a special thing. You're helping us do stuff like this. You're helping guys be able to go out and, like Josh said, have a little bit of financial freedom. So appreciate you, both Josh and everyone listening, and tune in next time.
And don't forget to gritty.
Yeah, I will. I'll definitely gritty.